G'day. Just want to record this video today just to run you through what to expect in terms of your satellite speeds and what to do should you be experiencing any issues. Now, I'm going to quickly run through this article on our support website here on slow satellite speeds and what you should do. I'm going to quickly guide you through each of these steps here and the relevance to it to you and what you can do in your situation to help your service speed. So the first thing to understand is there are two speeds on satellite. When I'm referring to satellite, I'm referring to Sky Muster satellite. This is the ambient satellite. There's also Sky Muster Plus. The troubleshooting and the speed conversation I'll be having here applies to both those products as it's both essentially the same satellite and the same troubleshooting steps you'd follow. Now the two speeds are 25/5, so that's 25 download and 5 upload, and 12/1, that's 12 download and 1 upload. So 25 is obviously the highest speed and 12 is the entry level speed. Both speeds perfectly good enough for watching Netflix, doing all the things you need to do on the internet. 25/5 bandwidth is probably more for people who have multiple people in the house. You got a more bandwidth you need to share in terms of speed. But if you're the only person, probably 12 is good enough for you, as that's more than good enough to run a connection to watch Netflix, run videos, and most general things you need to do. The other thing to understand is these speeds are up to speeds, so not just for satellite, like any retail product in internet, these are the up to speeds. They're not guaranteed speeds, so depending on the time of day, other factors, especially on satellites, there's multiple paths to traverse before the signal gets to your house. This is why those speeds cannot be constant 25 or 12. They will change depending on time of day, weather, other external factors. However, their job here is to eliminate those external factors to see what is it that's causing your slow speed. Is it internal or is it something on the network that we could easily fix for you? Which is we're going to run through today. So the first thing is to consider what can cause those slow speeds. We've listed the most common things here. Some of the most common things is time of day. Typically during peak hours, you can see those speeds go down. This is like the hours between 4 and 10 p.m. when everyone's online and normally watching Netflix and other streaming services, which can bring down the overall bandwidth of the satellite. So that's when you can see sort of speeds come down in the sort of peak periods at night. However, in saying that, we don't expect them to constantly stay at a low level even during those periods. There shouldn't be, you shouldn't be expected to not be able to run any services at all at night. You can see your speeds from even a 25 drop down to 5 megabits and then back up to 10 and then back to 25. It'll fluctuate in the evenings, but if you're constantly below 5, then there's a potential issue there that we need to explore. So listen on for this video and we'll run through what you need to do. The other things to consider is the off-peak periods. So, you know, the network periods are, we mentioned before, is the on-peak periods between 4 and 10 p.m. is our network high period. So that's when it can slightly go slow. But like I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you're not getting that constant slow speed. You want to check it throughout the day. If you're getting slow speeds also outside of that peak period, say you're on a 25/5 speed and you're always getting 4 or 5 megabits, there's definitely something wrong there. So stick on this video and I'll walk you through the steps on how to isolate to make sure there's nothing inside your house that's causing it and there's nothing that we can do to easily fix that for you. The other thing to consider is number of devices online. So if you're a large family, that's if you've got a 12 or 25, you've got to split those speeds across multiple people. So a family of four, you've got to cut that 12 speed, for example, across four people. So four people watching Netflix at the same time, yes, the speeds will run slow. So the important thing to consider is before checking or calling because for slow speeds, just check that not everyone's online at the same time and using the service because that can bring down the speeds. The other thing is the background services that you're running. Even if it's just yourself, who's using the service, just check that you don't have multiple servers in the background using the speed. There might be an update running in the background. Sometimes people just don't notice. So just double check that there's nothing else running in that could bring it down. The other thing is weather. So unfortunately, satellite can be prone to weather, which we're normally talking extreme weather here, however. So any extreme heat, wind, rain, or thunderstorm, or smoke, that can affect the speed. So if you're getting any sort of extreme weather, the causality that can often lead to that's what's causing the speed issue. However, when the said weather clears, if the issue still persists, please stick on this video and look at what steps we'll do next to isolate that. The other thing is dish interference, so check that there's nothing, interference of the dish on the line of sight. Typically, this won't cause speed, but it can cut the service out. So if there's an interference on the signal, So make sure there's no interference on the dish on your roof. The other big thing for speeds is Wi-Fi. So if you're running Wi-Fi on your home setup, you want to make sure that your Wi-Fi router is up to date. It's not 5 plus years old. You also want to make sure the distance and the positioning of your Wi-Fi. So you don't want it to be 50 or 100 meters down the house. Obviously, the Wi-Fi reception is not going to be great. So then that will doubly so affect your speed. So you want to make sure that you're as close to your Wi-Fi as possible and has the best possible position. We run through some of the other things to consider there when checking that. Yeah, the final thing is us. Yes, on Sky Muster, not so much Sky Muster Plus, but Sky Muster, the issue can also often lie with us or your ISP. The service is maintained based on amount of customers online, and we have to sort of manage that network. So, yes, if there's congestion, that can sometimes happen, but our engineers are constantly monitoring the network, and should there be an issue, they're normally on top of it within seconds. But yes, that can sometimes be the issue. So if you've tried all troubleshooting steps, you can contact us, and we can see if there's anything there on the network side that could be causing this issue. I mentioned before that SkyMaster Plus, not so much. This is because SkyMaster Plus is managed differently compared to SkyMaster, so the experience is really across the board. Doesn't matter which service provider you're with, you're going to get that constant experience in terms of speed, because it's all managed from the NBN side as opposed to the ISPs directly. So what can you do? The first thing to do, so you're having slow speed. The first thing you have to do is isolate to make sure that, to determine whether the speed is coming from within the house and your equipment or from externally outside of the house. So in which case you need to contact us and we need to get it fixed for you. So the first thing you need to do is you need to isolate those internal and external factors. So the handy thing about the satellites troubleshooting is it's pretty simple compared to other technologies. You'll have your NBN black box, which is referred to as an NTD. The first thing we like to ask is that you connect your PC or laptop directly to the NBN NTD, the UNID1 port located at the back, as shown in this picture. The beauty of this is that the service will authenticate and connect automatically, no username and password, so you can just plug your PC or laptop directly into this. Just note that your PC or laptop will need to have an Ethernet port to match the port on the thing to connect directly. If you don't have a PC or laptop, another thing to explore is you can get an adapter. If you're on, say, a Mac, you can get an Ethernet adapter. They're pretty cheap. You could look at one of those. Ultimately, if it's just not a possibility, you don't have a PC or Mac, you just use a smart TV or tablet, don't have any of those things, that's fine. Just run through the rest of this video and we'll let you know the next steps to do. But preferably, we would like you to connect directly to the box. The main reason for this is to ensure that the service, if the service is connected directly to the box, no other service is running, you've turned everything else off, and you've got your laptop or PC connected directly, and the service is still running slow, you run a speed test and it's still slow, we obviously have a very good indicator there that it's most likely nothing internal and there's something external that we need to investigate and fix for you. This is the great thing about the satellite troubleshooting. We can get straight to that matter, but just by doing this one simple test. So as outlined here in this article, you want to plug directly into the NBN NTD black box at the Unity port 1 at the back and connect it directly to your PC. Step two, next you want to turn off your Wi-Fi, so you want to make sure that your PC is not looking for your Wi-Fi. Typically on most PCs, laptops, you turn the Wi-Fi, it automatically connect to the LAN device, seeing as you're plugged now directly into your NBN black box. If it doesn't, you might need to just go to your internet network settings and change your setting from Wi-Fi to your LAN network. But most of the time, this will just cut over automatically, and you'll find the service will just connect automatically. Step three is to open your web browser and go to a speed test site. Here we recommend Speed of Me, but another one you can use is fast.com. So if you just go to Google, type in Speed of Me or fast.com and run a speed test to see what sort of results you're getting. If the speed test result is significantly better and the performance is significantly better to when you were connected through the Wi-Fi, that is obviously a good indication that there's not a problem with the service. It's more likely that it's coming internally from your equipment or perhaps multiple people logged onto that equipment, or perhaps the equipment is old and might need replacing. If it's an IPSTAR supplied router and it's still within warranty, please contact us. We can replace it within warranty if we do deem it's the equipment that's faulty. So you want to run that test. Let's say you run that test though, and so we've troubleshooted the step. We've sort of given you a guide on what to follow for the steps here for Speed of Me, how to run that test. It's pretty straightforward. Most speed test sites, you just hit start and you'll get the results pretty instantaneously. You want to pay attention to your download and upload speeds to see if those you want to be at least within, 20 to 30% of your speed that you're on. If you're getting a 5, that's still good enough to run Netflix and shows. But if you're getting a consistent 5 or below, that is concerning, especially if you're connected directly. At that stage, if you run multiple tests and you're constantly getting 1, 2, 3, 4, and upload is also quite low, then yes, there is most likely a problem. And then we suggest you to contact our support team to run further tests. But yeah, run the tests. As you're running those tests, the thing to pay notice is to you want to copy the URL of those tests. We will always like them for you to share those to us. What we do ask is that you conduct 3 tests just so we can get a better picture if it's running in the evenings, in the mornings, at night. If the reason we ask for this is just so when we lodge a fault, whatever, we can sort of show those direct results, share them with NBN, and show that look, this is not a time of day issue. This is happening constantly, and we just give those results directly to NBN just to better fast track your case to resolve the fault and get things moving. So what we ask is you capture those results. You copy those results. Either you can screenshot if you're not using SpeederMe, or you can use the URL share button in SpeederMe. We ask that you share those results by emailing them to us at support@ipsstarbroadband.com, and just let us know you're experiencing speed issues. You've followed the troubleshooting steps outlined here, and these are your results. Please just mention to them that if you are connecting directly into the MBM box, because that's the first thing that we want to know. We want to know that is this, definitely a network issue that you've connected directly and you are getting these poor speeds. Once you've emailed the support team, you'll get an order reply with your ticket number, so you have that as for your any further correspondences if you need to follow up. The next steps is once we receive those results from you, we'll go over them. We'll also run some tests on our side, and if we identify there's nothing there on our end or network, we'll then raise it to MBN. To then, they'll investigate from there, and hopefully 9 times out of 10, if it is something they can fix externally from their end, but worst case scenario, they may need to send someone out to have a look at the dish, maybe do some realignment to improve that service. So don't worry. Next steps, those all steps are with us. So once you've reported to us, we'll then take those next steps and do that investigation for you. It normally takes 1 to 5 business days, a bit longer than sort of most faults because we have to do that investigation. So we need to see what's causing those issues. Um, should The next thing to go over is once you've reported the issue, we've logged the fault. If for any reason that NBN come back, we find that there's no fault found or that the speeds were within the expectable parameters, there's other things to just explore of what you can do to improve the service. Now, in this article here on our website, the slow speeds, what to do, we have a few helpful tips and tricks here on links for articles on how to make the experience better to help you use the speed you're getting to make it, just make that service go further for you. It gives a sort of typical indication of sort of what speed you'll need for sort of HD video streaming in 4K, sort of what speed you would need to do some sort of basic services. And then, and as I mentioned before, we've got a bunch of those tips that you can try here to make the most of your speed. Um, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video is helpful and informative. We very much would love to hear your feedback on this, and with in terms of your speed. We know that sometimes with satellite there can maybe sometimes be a negative connotation, because satellite people just assume, hey, my service is slow, this is the way it is. We don't want that to be the case. If you think your service is slow, we do want to hear from you and have you run these tests, because if you do connect directly and run these tests, we can then identify those issues and try and get them fixed as soon as possible for you. Um, so hopefully this video helps and is informative for you. Um, yeah, thank you.